Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Something I picked up in recent years, and it doesn't count in every scenario, but it's a really salient point, particularly for anyone with their own business or anyone in a leadership role. Go on 70%, and I think it sounds really odd, doesn't it? Go on 70%. What I mean by that is so many people, so many businesses, I suppose even in life, you're striving for perfection. You're looking to get something to 100% before you're willing to go. I think a lot of us are critically enough minded that we know the difference between procrastination and getting going. Never do a half job. That's not what the phrase means. But go on 70% when you know that you are 2/3 of the way to something being good, whether that is your initial pitch, whether that's actually getting your business going. You never actually ever get to 100%. The world changes. Look at what's happened to us right now. Businesses that you would have thought were absolutely rock solid today are not tomorrow. And actually, you can spend so many weeks, days, months, even years, some people, sat with a great idea or a great strategy, and you never actually go. So we kind of had this rule, and I'll quantify what that meant. So using an example of one of the other companies that I'd worked with, when it came to BrickLive, we were always trying to launch this trail business that I've mentioned in previous videos that have become such a significant part of the company. And we had 2 or 3 trails to start with, but they were never quite the trails we intended them to be. They were accumulations of models that we had. And actually we started to really believe in it and invest in the idea. But then came the problem of how do we sell it? And we didn't want to commit to the cash flow until we'd got sales, which is a difficult thing, and not everyone can achieve this. So we created this internal rule of we needed to cover what our cash outlay would be. Not all of our overheads, but what was the direct attributable cost to that. And we'd need to sell it before we can get there. And what we then got lost in was we established what the cost was, we had the designs, but the sales team and those around them didn't want to go to market till the models were built, till we had every piece of detail, maybe even some testimonials from people. And you can forever chase perfect, but whenever you're doing something for the first time, to get to 100% is impossible. You don't know what 100% looks like. And actually what we found was, after a few weeks of lack of progress, I made the decision that we've got to go, because these models are never going to get built and they're never going to get commissioned unless we go. So we agreed on the 70%. That was create a deck. Based on the designs that we've done. Within that deck we will show you the models that we've built before. So although they're not the models that you will be hiring, if we could build a rocket ship, a car, a human being and an elephant, you can trust us to build Rocky or Ryder from the Paw Patrol, or you could trust us to build a rhinoceros. We had the track record and the credibility to prove that we could do it, but we found that we spent so long trying to kind of complete the circle that actually you didn't make the progress and you were losing your first mover advantage. So what we did though is we went to market with this particular tool, and we went out to all of the clients and said this will not be built until we get to, I think it was 4 bookings we needed at the time to cover that. Anyway, 11 days later we'd sold 4. Bang, it was done. And when you go on 70%, that does not mean that you don't go back and try and perfect it. So if you compare the sales literature that we started with that got that tool commissioned compared to the literature that it is today, it's night and day. got to get going. You've got to bring cash in the door. You've got to keep the lights on. You've got to get people paid. And in chasing perfection, it can be a fool's errand at times. But once you're up and running and revenue's coming in, some of you can then run in the direction of growth and new and development, while others perfect the trail that you've blazed. I think go on 70% is such a super principle to work on. And obviously, there's always scenarios where that doesn't count. If you, again, use coronavirus, there's no point distributing test kits that are only 70% effective. Everybody has to be smart enough to interpret what that means. What you do is you're kind of always putting it off because you're waiting for perfect to jump off the page and tell you now is the time to go. Almost never does that happen. So you have to be brave enough to know what 70% looks like. And there is no exact science. You know if you're going too soon, there's too many holes in it. But if you can sit as a team, and this is what we did, debate the idea, debate the merits of going to market, and as long as, if you wrote the pros and the cons, as long as the pros are worth it and the cons do not outweigh them, you're there. Pick up the mantra and run with go on 70%. So hopefully that short little snippet's useful. If not, ignore me. But I'll keep coming at you with the videos. Please do like, please do subscribe, please engage, please share. I really do want to build this into our own little community. So yeah, take care, stay safe as always, and I'll see you next time. Nice one.